Hey, you kids, get off my lawn. Unless you're mowing it, let's see your mobile phone for initiative. Do as I say. What's up, a frowny face? Go out and play. Just like your parents did. Just like your parents did. As if your parents did.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to First Gen Gamers. I am co-host number 1, Jed. On the other end, co-host number 2, Ashley. How are you doing?
Fantastic. How are
I'm doing
you?
marvelous. I just had my last day at my current job. Well, now former job. And
Woo.
It was middle fingers on the way out the door, so I am feeling quite relaxed.
Good.
So, yes.
Fuck the man.
Fuck the man who doesn't give PTO or holidays.
Yeah. Fuck him.
Fuck bad bosses. Which, speaking of, that is absolutely beautiful how that ties in to today's topic, because what are we talking about today?
I'm going to say it like you said it. Bad bosses.
I don't know how that accent came out, because Lord knows. But yes, we're talking about crappy bosses. It's the flip side of what we did last time around. I don't know about you, but for me, this was a fun one to put together, but I had random criteria because there's so many ways about a boss can be terrible.
Yeah, I just picked ones that I thought were shit.
Yeah, there's just so many different ways they can be shit. So let's start exploring. Let's see how these bosses are shit and who these shit bosses are. So, did you have any for the second gen? Because I did not. That was the one that I really struggled with.
Wow, talk about being cheap. I do have something for the second generation. Don't worry, guys. I got you. I picked Lex Luthor from Superman for the Atari 2600. I would just categorize that entire game as bad.
I blocked that game out of my memory.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I feel like Lex Luthor is a really iconic character, but this boss fight, which isn't even really a boss fight, is obviously not iconic. It's not really a battle. There's just a bunch of what I think are confusing pixels mashing in the screen. Can't really tell what's going on. It's like pixelated alphabet
That's
soup.
a great description for almost every Atari game, sadly.
Yeah. And I feel like the fight is super anticlimactic. It's like, Superman showing up somewhere to kick some ass and then he gets caught in his own cape because it's really windy. That's what I feel like the fight scene's like.
That's just sad. I don't even know that I ever got to Lex Luthor because that game is just so frustrating, so obtuse.
I've never played a Superman game I liked. So
I can't think of a good Superman game off the top of my head.
There you go. There you go.
No.
They're never good.
And they should be.
The movies also are typically not good. Some of them, but a lot of them.
And they should be. It's Superman. It can't be that fucking hard to make a good game about Superman, but I guess it is.
Name one good one.
I can't.
I rest my case.
Okay, so you know what? Let's get to the third generation, the Nintendo, the Sega Master System. I definitely have one for this one. But what do you have? Yeah.
For third gen? I picked Deadly Towers.
Ooh.
I picked Rubus.
Okay, yeah, I know of the game. I know of its shititude, but for the listeners, explain this one.
The entire game, I feel like it's known for being unplayable because it's really difficult. I would equate it to like Elden Rings or Dark Souls, Demon Souls, any game like that. It's just you go into it knowing you're going to die, except for me, it's not fun. There are some games like survival games where I'm okay dying a lot, but there's a threshold where I want to set my entire city on fire. And this is one of those games that crosses that threshold. So this is what I wrote. If you've ever wanted to experience pure, unfiltered pain, look no further than the final boss in Deadly Towers. So the game itself feels like it's designed to torture you. There's bad hit detection, enemy spawns that don't really make a lot of sense, and then just an overall vibe that the people that created the game hate you and want you to be really upset. But this boss is the icing on the nightmare cake because it's less of a battle and more of like button mashing, hoping that whatever you're trying to do hits the boss. And he just stands there because he moves really slowly and he just takes damage. Like he just, whatever you throw at him, it's fine. I'm just going to stand here and everything's going to be fine. Yeah, there's really like no strategy. You just realize that you've wasted a lot of time on a very unforgiving game, on a very unfulfilling boss fight where there's seemingly no end or way to go.
Yeah, that sums up Deadly Towers. I mean, there's a reason why it's an episode of Angry Video Game Nerd, and I can't imagine that final boss is any prize that makes climbing the mountain worth it. My pick is from Snake's Revenge. If you don't know about the game, it's not that it's unlicensed. It's a sequel to Metal Gear, but it was not approved or developed by Metal Gear's creator, Hideo Kojima. Konami just decided to make it just because they wanted to make a sequel. Even though he was already making a sequel of Metal Gear called Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake on the MSX computer in Japan, Snake's Revenge is what the United States got. And it's incredibly depressing. It is a fucking terrible game from start to finish. But when you get to the Metal Gear fight, the actual fight with an actual Metal Gear, you come in off the right through a door and you're in a control room, and the Metal Gear is in a separate room that is only accessible by a series of vents. So you have to fire a remote controlled missile that goes through the room, up the vent, makes a right angle turn to the right, makes a right angle turn to the left, makes another turn to the left, goes down, left, up, left, down, then out into the Metal Gear room. But then you don't just hit the Metal Gear anywhere. It's only vulnerable in the front, and the vent into the room comes out in the back, which means you have to now get the missile around the damn thing as well. That's way too much. There should not be so many turns guiding a missile that it feels like you're driving an Indy car through a street racetrack. It's mind-numbing how poorly this boss fight is designed.
I kind of love it. It's super half-assed. Here, this is what you're getting. Shut the fuck up and play it. Yes, we know it's lazy. It's whatever. It's fine. This is a game. And I love that they made the game without, they're just like, we're just going to make this. No worries. It'll be really good, guys, here.
And to show you how good it is, in no Metal Gear retrospective have they included it. The Metal Gear compilation that they put on the PS3 does not include it. The Metal Gear Anniversary Collection that they put out on the PS5 and I think the Xbox Series X does not include it. Even Konami has gone, wow, shit. We've dropped the ball on that one. And for Konami to admit a mistake, that's a special, special moment. All right. Let's move on to the next one, the fourth generation. Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, TurboGrafx.
I picked a character from Mortal Kombat 2 on the Genesis because I wanted to, and I do what I want. I picked Shao Kahn because I feel like he's an unfair character, and I hate him, and I want him to die. in-game and IRL. I feel like he has a bunch of unblockable attacks, and he also taunts you while you're trying to attack him. And every time I fight him, I feel like it's not skill, even though whenever I'm playing any fighting game, I'm button mashing. I will admit that, especially if it's like any Marvel versus Capcom game, I am just moving my joystick wherever and just spamming buttons. I will admit that. This, it doesn't matter. You're just going to die. I feel like it's, I don't know. You think you're doing well, maybe dodging an attack, and then you get hit, and then you get taunted mid-face or mid-fight in your face, and it's just, I don't know. And then he has really fucked up one-liners. I tried to think of some off the top of my head. I just remember him being taunting and making me feel really sad as a kid.
Wasn't he also am I confusing Mortal Kombat 1 and 2? Was he also, could he also shapeshift?
I don't remember.
It has been so long
Google
since I played the old school Mortal Kombat games, but I have a recollection of a final boss in one of the Mortal Kombat shape-shifting, and he could change into any of the other characters in the game, which was terrible because he has his own moveset, and then all of a sudden he's using Liu Kang's moveset, or he's using Sonya's moveset. You can't strategize for that. It's irritating.
I don't remember because I haven't played this game since I was like maybe 5 years old, to be honest. I don't remember. And Google's talking about Terminator for some reason. I went to a Reddit thread about him and they're talking about Terminator. And admittedly, I don't really want to read any further.
Well, even if I am getting him mixed up, he's still a pain in the ass. I agree that Shao Kahn was always, getting to him felt more like an endurance test than it was, I've climbed the mountain and this is the final step. Strangely enough, I also picked a fighting game for this generation, but I went a little more off the boards. I picked Eternal Champions Challenge from the Dark Side on the Sega CD. That it was a re-release and a kind of like how Street Fighter 2 had like Champions Edition and then Turbo. You know, it was the same game, but they just kind of tweaked things and added a character or two. That's what Eternal Champions Challenge from the Dark Side was. They took a Genesis game and they buffed it up for the Sega CD. The final boss of Eternal Champions, the Dark Champion, you know, you talk about Shao Kahn, M. Bison, Heihachi from Tekken, you know, just these guys that take so much time and energy, but they still fit within the context of the fighting game's rules. You're still best 2 out of 3. The timer is still the timer. It still functions like the rest of the fighting game. The Dark Champion doesn't. He has 5 different forms, and you have to beat all 5 of them. It's a fighting game, and the final boss takes 10 minutes. Like, why? Why would you do this in a fighting game?
That's not really that bad, to be honest, 10 minutes.
But when the rest of the game hasn't prepared you for that, like, you're used to the 2 out of 3 and the 90-second timer, like, all of a sudden you've got to fight a guy for 10 minutes. It's the unexpected curveball and how it doesn't fit with the rest of the game that just drives me nuts. Like, it should not be that way. It should just be like any other fight, just harder.
Fighting games be like that.
Which is one reason why it's one of my lesser genres.
Yeah, I have a friend that only plays Tekken, like every single day. I'm talking to you, Chris. Every day I try to get him to play other stuff, 7 days to nothing. He just only plays Tekken from the second that he stops working to the second that he goes to bed. That's all he talks about. He's constantly said, look at this Tekken character I made every day via text. And then on TikTok, he's posting text. That's all he does. I'm like, dude, how do you do it? Because I would snap. I would say via text.
I don't know.
And then on TikTok, he's posting text.
I don't know
That's
that
all
I
he
could
does.
play any game like that. Like there are games that I absolutely love. Like I've sunk almost 300 hours into Diablo 3. I've sunk in probably 150 into Hades. I can play these games quite a lot, not daily. There's a limit. Like if that's what he likes, God bless him, man. That's Chris. God bless you, man. I don't understand, but more power to you.
I have over 1,000 hours in some games.
I can't think of a game that I have 1,000 hours in.
Fallout, 7 Days to Die, Fallout 76, Fallout 4, 7 Days to Die. It's bad. I get a little obsessive.
Maybe
Minecraft, oh for sure. Minecraft. I probably have like 2,000 or 3,000 hours in Minecraft.
maybe if I added up all the times I've beaten Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Because I've beaten that way. I keep replaying it. I never change my strategy. I beat it the same way every time. Just, it's a comfort food game. I don't know. Well, I mean, not dissing anyone who spends that much time in a game. Hey, if that's what brings you fun, go for it. I just...
You have a life and a family, so it makes sense. I just, all I do is talk shit and play video games.
I miss that life. Oh, okay. Next one. Generation 5, your PlayStation, your Saturn, your N64.
I tried not to pick a Zelda game because I feel like I pick a lot of Zelda games, but Zelda's relevant. I picked Bongo Bongo from Ocarina of Time, which is not the best Zelda. Okay. Had to look directly in the camera for that one. I feel like even though Ocarina is a great game, this boss is absolute ass. And I will die on that hill. I think you have to fight him in the Shadow Temple. I'm going to be honest, I don't remember because I haven't played Ocarina in a long time. I replay Majora's Mask a lot and I barely beat it like ever, but that's fine. It's still fun. This one I don't go back and play as much because it's really tough. But first of all, you're fighting on like a giant drum, which is just weird and insane. And every time you move, like you're bouncing around and then you have like this disembodied freak of nature that's trying to slap the drum and send you flying. So the movements are really erratic. I'm pretty sure you need something to see him. I wrote down that I thought it was called the Lens of Truth, but I don't remember. I could have looked it up, but I didn't. But I know you need something to see him anyway. And so his movements are super erratic. You're flying around on this drum. He's really hard to see. And it's just like a super chaotic fight, which I feel like is a lot of Zelda fights. They're chaotic and really difficult. But this one, for some reason, I always thought was really odd and like not fun. Oh, and the camera movements are really like absolutely unhinged in this boss fight. So I feel like it's just a mess altogether. I like it and I like the game, but just this boss fight can die in a fire.
You know you're going to get Zelda fanboys angry at you for that.
I love this game. I just don't like this boss. I think it's a great game. I just think I don't care.
I'm not angry at you. I find Ocarina of Time actually overrated. It's the fact that it's...
Thank you for taking the heat off me because bye.
The fact that it gets like 100 on Metacritic, like I don't get it. I don't get it. But I'm not going to go down that well. I'm not.
You already did, so now they're going to hate you more than they hate me.
I can
thank you for that.
I'm also about to get probably heat for the pick that I'm about to throw up. I'm picking another Metal Gear game, the original. I'm picking the final boss, Liquid Snake. Don't get me wrong. Metal Gear Solid is a masterpiece. It is an amazing game of stealth action. It has some of the best boss fights. It has some of the best characters, great dialogue, a wonderful story, great themes. I could go on and on praising it. The problem is that this game is built on stealth and using your intelligence and outwitting your opponent. And the final fight is a fist fight. It's not a smart duel. It's not a challenge of skill. It does not build on anything in the game that has come before it. It's just, we're standing in a field. We don't like each other. We're going to beat each other. What is this, Karate Kid? Like, I didn't play this to end up playing Punch-Out in the final boss. I wanted something smarter, and that deviation from the end. I mean, knowing Kojima, it was probably intentional just to subvert expectations, but I don't like it. It is totally unsatisfying to me and tonally dissonant with the rest of the game.
Tell him why you mad.
Damn you, Kojima! Damn you! All right. Cleansing Breath. Although the next one's going to make me rage even more because it's my favorite video game series of all time. So 6th generation. PlayStation 2, the original Xbox, the Dreamcast, the GameCube.
I picked Prince of Persia, Warrior Within for the PS2, which I think is the worst game in the franchise, in my opinion. And I picked Dahaka, however the hell you say it. I don't know. Only played the game once, never played it again, traded it in for a measly 25 cents at GameStop.
Ouch.
I don't remember exactly how much I got. I was I was really young. My mom probably kept the game and then gave it away, to be honest. I feel like you got chased throughout the entire game by this big bad warrior guy, and it should have been a really tough climactic battle, but it's actually like pretty easy because the boss's moves are repetitive and yeah, they're predictable. His movement is super slow, and I feel like you're waiting for some like super drawn out animation, but it's not. It's just boring, and it's not scary, and it's just super beatable after building it up for the entire time. The way that I was thinking about this was it a Dragon Age add-on? Somebody was talking to me the other day about, I played Dragon Age, but I didn't play any of the add-ons, and I don't even know if it's Dragon Age. I'm pretty sure it's Dragon Age, and he said it's like this weird like spider skeleton harvester thing that follows you throughout whatever you're doing, and you can see it in the background. It just like consumes bodies and shit, and then you finally fight it, and it's like absolutely insane, and it's like a terrifying fight. I don't know if you ever played that game, but my friend was telling me about it, and I was like, this is the exact opposite of that. You feel like through the entire game, you're going to have like a super intense boss battle with this thing that's been like prevalent throughout. And then it's like, nope, here you go. Goodbye. End of the boss fight. You're done. That's it. Thanks for playing. But I feel like this entire game is just a giant letdown. So I guess it's fitting. Just saying.
Yours and mine sound very similar. Mine is the final boss of the final game of the Legacy of Kain series from Legacy of Kain Defiance, the Elder God. It is my favorite series of all time. It is such an engrossing world visually and aesthetically. The writing is so awesome, even though it's like scenery chewing Shakespearean dialogue. It is so awesome. I love everything about it. This whole series is building up. And then you get to the final game, the final boss, this god that has been manipulating time and the events of life itself. And he's manipulated every character in the game. And now you are finally going to take this god out. It's an eyeball stuck to the wall with one tentacle that just sweeps back and forth across the floor. And every now and then he shoots a laser. Dodge laser, jump over tentacle, hit him in the eye. Dodge laser, jump over tentacle, hit him in the eye. Dodge laser, jump over tentacle, hit him in the eye. Game over.
Wait, I love that. That made me laugh so hard. I'm sorry. I'm like about to cry. That's so funny.
It is so fucking disappointing. Like I can look back on it now and go, okay, I can see the humor in it, but like at the time, I raged so hard after 5 games of this incredibly complex narrative. I mean, really complex. You need almost a goddamn flowchart to track this thing. But this incredible narrative and these incredible characters, and I'm fighting a one-tentacled octopus that's stuck to a wall.
I will have to play this game now. I've never played it before, and I will play it just based on that. I'm sorry to laugh, but that was so hilarious.
It's okay.
I'm sorry.
I've got, in 20 years, I've managed to get over it. Unless they remaster the damn thing and re-release it, then I'm going to fall into an all-new well of rage.
2 tentacles and an eyeball this time. 2.
Duck high and low.
That was amazing. Oh my God, I'm sorry, but that was, I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't that. And I love it. I'm sorry. I love it.
For trash value, it is amazing.
Oh God.
If you followed the game, like if you followed the whole series, it's just like, it's just a wet fart. It's just, this is what we've come to. This is what we've done. Okay, fine. Okay. 7th gen.
I picked Fable 2. So the Xbox 360. I picked Lucian Fairfax. I think you know why. Your face says
I almost picked that one. Almost.
I'm not gonna lie. This killed me when I played it. I thought it was so funny because I think I was young when this game came out. So I know everybody was mad, but I thought it was fucking hilarious. I kind of love when games troll like this a little bit. So you spend the entire game building up to this boss fight. You're ready to take down the man who's been ruining your life, and then he just stands there talking and he doesn't shut the fuck up. I'm pretty sure that you shoot him one time and then that's it. The game rolls credits. But also, if you let him talk for too long, then somebody else will shoot him for you. And then the game just ends, which makes it even better. And I love everything about that. And I wish every game was made like this, to be honest.
It is an epic troll move.
Such a metaphor for life.
It is such an epic troll move. And I almost picked it for that exact same reason of just having the balls to have a one-shot final boss. It
makes me happy.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I know people are going to hate that. Listen, I want an actual boss fight, but this made me laugh when I played it IRL. So I just thought it was hilarious.
I get it.
I was like, oh, okay. Game over. Bye.
I get it. Believe me. Like I said, I came close. This close. It was a coin flip. And in the end, I thought, no, I've got another boss that's similar to that in a different game, in a different generation. I'll pick someone else because I have my pick for this generation. Assassin's Creed 2, the Pope, Rodrigo Borgia.
A+ for pronounce. I appreciate that you tried to roll your R's.
Very good.
Yes.
I can roll my R's a lot
okay.
better than that. I don't know what happened.
It's all right. You tried. I appreciate that.
Again, a lot like Metal Gear Solid 1, a game that's based on stealth, a game that's based on cunning and outwitting, comes down to a fist fight at the end. But what makes this one even worse is because this game takes place within a historical narrative, it can't deviate from history. So you can't actually kill the final boss because he's Pope. He's got to die the way that he was meant to die. So you get into a fist fight with him, who, by the way, at this point, Borgia's in his 40s or 50s and is fat and short and has the athletic capability of a blacksmith's anvil. So The fact that you are a trained assassin and you can't even punch out a guy who looks like he should be a greeter at Lowe's, it makes no sense. But then he gets away. You don't kill him. He gets away. He runs through a secret door. Thanks, game. That was time well spent. That made me feel so much better.
Unpopular opinion, I really don't think the Assassin's Creed franchise was that great. I liked the first one when it came out. And then there was I liked Black Sails. That one was badass. Yeah, I wasn't really wowed by the 100 other games in the franchise. I don't know why we do this. I don't know why we make 100 games and then we just dilute a good franchise with a bunch of bullshit. You can come at me for that. It's okay. I'm open to hearing other
I will not
people's
come
opinions.
at you for it. I've only played 2 Assassin's Creed games. I played it at No,
Did you
I
play
did
Black
not.
Sails? Oh,
I've
it's
heard
really
that.
good. It's fun. It's
heard
really
that
good.
especially the pirate ship and that part of it really gives it a different flavor. I've played
So
2
good.
and the follow-up to 2, which was Assassin's Creed Brotherhood.
Yeah. Oh, I played that one too. It was okay. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. It
That's
was
how
all
I
right.
felt. And that's what made me not go on to the 3rd game in the trilogy was, okay, it felt like an expansion pack that was full game length. And
Exactly.
I just didn't care to do the same thing a 3rd time. So then they came out with 3 and it was like, okay, this one's in the American Revolution, but it's the same gameplay. Like, okay, no, you know what? I'm done. I don't need this franchise. It's junk food.
I don't know why we do this every time. We do it with games and we do it with movies. Just stop.
Yep.
Just stop.
Give us time to breathe on these games. Give us time to appreciate them. Don't just turn them out because it's next year, you know?
I'm looking at you, Call of Duty franchise.
Absolutely.
I'm going to get some serious hate. Actually, I doubt Call of Duty bros would listen to this podcast. Let's be serious. They only play that in Counter-Strike. So
yeah,
let's be serious.
None of them are listening. And I think even I think there is a fair number of Call of Duty bros that have realized, no, they keep selling us the same half-baked shit every year. Not all of them. There's still a healthy amount of them that still drink the Kool-Aid, but I think my kids were Call of Duty bros for a while, and even they've realized, no.
It used to be really good. When Activision did it, it used to be really, really good. I loved it.
All right. 8th generation.
Okay, I'm going to change my answer. Because, and this can fall into like a couple different generations, but I'm playing it on the Xbox One. I just got a gaming PC, so I haven't played it on PC yet. Don't come at me. But I just started playing Minecraft again, and I haven't played it in a long time. And so they added like these dark ruins. I'm going to get yelled at for not calling it right. Ancient ruins where there's like an ancient city, like in very specific biomes underneath, like when you're mining. So I see these like, I have a texture pack on. So admittedly, I don't know what it looks like without the texture pack on. It's a more realistic texture pack, but they're called skulk sensors that have like these little flappy things on top. And I'm like, I have no idea what the fuck these are. And I just start hitting them. And then all of a sudden I see this box with a skull that starts screaming. And I'm like, oh, that's weird. Destroy the box, keep it moving. And I find this city and I'm like, this is badass. So I keep exploring. And then I set off that fucking, it's called a shrieker box or a shrieker, go off again. And then it goes off again. And then all of a sudden I hear like this boom, boom. And I see this fucking thing break out from the earth and start coming at me. And I'm like, what? It's the warden, guys. I didn't know the warden was a thing. And oh my God, it was terrifying. I just built up, like I keep so many stacks of cobblestone. I just built up, and then just climbed out. But I'm like, cool, I need to learn everything about this. I need to beat him. And they're like, you can't beat him. This, that. My dumbass, I get like fully stacked armor. And I'm like, I'm going to build a bunch of iron golems and attack him. He has like ultrasonic booms that he shoots at you through the wall. One hit kills you. That he just kills these iron golems, even like refreshing their health with iron bars. He is like so difficult to kill. I think he has like 800 health or something unreal. He's the hardest person to kill in the game. And he only drops like one item. So you're meant to evade him. But when you put something in front of a player like me, you can't just say, you're not really supposed to kill him. You're supposed to evade him, because I'm like, well, I'm going to try to kill him. And I died so many times, dude, over the past 2 weeks. I can't kill him. I can't kill him. And I hate it. I hate everything about it. Fuck the warden.
I've played maybe 20 minutes of Minecraft. I don't have the... It is not that I don't think that, it is a very well put together game. I have nothing bad to say about the game. I don't have the creativity for crafting games.
So just take over a village. Boom, you have a home.
My brain just doesn't, if I can't enjoy the basic mechanic of the game, I just don't want to, it just, that ruins the engagement for me. I felt the same way about Subnautica. I tried that. I could not get into it because of the same thing. No Man's Sky. I love the concept of No Man's Sky. I think it is.
No Man's Sky is stupid.
I loved the idea of it.
Stupid
I cannot
game.
get into mining, crafting, building.
Survival games are fun, Jed. Okay?
I can't do it.
They're fun.
I can't.
They're fun. They're fun.
I can't do it. I can't. It's just the way my brain is wired. I can't do it.
Your brain is broken.
Well, yes, it is
Get
broken,
it fixed.
But there's a lot of reasons why it's broken.
Minecraft is wonderful, and you're missing out on 7 Days to Die, which is a zombie survival game. Way more intense.
Is that on a console?
Yeah, it's on everything now.
I will.
And they finally fully released the game.
I can't promise that I will get it. But
it's a survival game. You're going to have to build some form of small base to survive the horde, but it doesn't have to be, you don't have to build a mansion. That would not work, to be honest.
Roger Ebert, the film critic, said something once, and I'm going to mangle the quote, but it was effectively, don't write off an entire genre that is confusing snobbery for taste. That you should be able to find something in every genre of movie that you like. You just haven't found the right representative. And I believe I can find a kind of movie like musicals. I don't like musicals. I don't like the format of musicals. But are there a couple of musicals that I'm good with? Yes. Just a couple. So
The Book of Mormon. It's a play.
But
it's a South Park, guys.
Surprise me.
It's hilarious also.
But my point of that is maybe I just haven't found the right survival game. So I'm willing to give it a shot.
7 Days to Die is fantastic. I have so many hours into that game. Like I said, over 1,000. And that's just on PC. I also have so many hours on Xbox. I'm not willing to look or divulge that information because it's probably more than PC. But it's fine. It's a great game. I love it.
I will look into it. And if I'm able to demo it, I will give it a shot.
You're going to hate it.
I'm willing to give it, be open-minded and give it its due. Because you never know. It could be something that I like. Could be. One thing I don't like, though. Middle-earth, Shadow of Mordor, Sauron. This is the game, this was the boss that I am comparing to Lucian from Fable 2. Except, this one annoys me. Lucian is a troll move. Lucian is just ha ha ha, one shot. What did you expect? Middle-earth, Sauron is Satan of Middle-earth. He's built up in the movies. He's built up in the books. You know that Sauron is the big evil of the world. So when you finally get to him, when he finally reveals himself in Shadow of Mordor, and you're ready for the duel, It's a fucking cinematic with 2 QuickTime events.
I hate those.
I cannot describe how stunned I was when that happened. I'm like, okay, this is going to be the hardest thing. Like, Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor has this great battle system. The combat is so much like Batman Arkham Asylum. It flows really well. I had played Arkham Asylum in that back to back, so I was just really in tune with the fighting mechanics of it. I was prepared for this knockdown drag out fight. And instead I'm watching a short movie and I'm hitting Y when I'm told to. Thanks. Fuck off. Like, just of all of the bosses on this that we've discussed today, this one is the one that pisses me off the most, because it's, at least the others were fights that I had to deal with. This one didn't even give me the option of a fight. It was just like watching a movie and hitting a button when I was prompted.
Press X to Jason.
Jason.
Jason? Jason.
Okay, last gen. Current gen.
I never know if we're going to pick one or not, so you can go first and I'll think of one, because I play current gen all day, so I'll think of one.
Mine, I just encountered this like a month ago. I just finished Spider-Man 2 recently. And it's good. It's doesn't really iterate from the first Spider-Man, so it's a little bit kind of disappointing, but it's still a really fun game. Except for the fight with Kraven. He's built up to be this ultra badass. He's a hunter. He's the ultimate game hunter. He's managed to kidnap, stalk, and kill the Scorpion, the Sandman, a number of Spider-Man's rogues gallery. He's either captured them, killed them, or done something to them. So he's being built up as the mother of all fights. But you're not at the end of the game. So it doesn't feel like the mother of all fights. And then you end up fighting him not as Spider-Man, but as Venom. And Venom is so overpowered. So unbelievably strong that you truck Kraven. It is so easy. And it is just, after the way that he had been built up and the way the narrative had gone, which the game's narrative is convoluted to begin with, it just didn't hit the right note. It just felt kind of, oh, well, that was it, huh? Like, it felt more like a sub-boss than an actual boss fight. So, is it the worst thing on Earth in this generation? No, there's probably worse boss fights, but that's the one that sticks in my mind the most right now.
I was trying to think of games that I've played as of late that have had boss fights, and then I thought of Tiny Tina's Wonderland. Whatever the stupid fucking D&D based game from Tiny Tina with Borderlands that came out. It's just, I hated it. Sorry, I'm not a D&D fan. The last boss, I think he was called the Dragon Lord, and he's like a necromancer, and I'm pretty sure he had like 3 or 4 bars of health, and it was just a pain in the ass to fight. And there are these crystal shards with crystals coming up and like shooting in a line at you that can impale you. And because he's a necromancer, he can make things rise up, and so you're fighting him and trying to kill him, which sounds like a typical chaotic Borderlands fight, and I like that about Borderlands, but I just really hated Tiny Tina, and I hated this boss fight. And I hated everything about that game. Except for butts down.
For as long as we've been doing this podcast together, you've mentioned Borderlands a lot. Yeah.
I love Borderlands.
You've mentioned how much you've hated Tiny Tina's whatever the hell it is. On a
Good.
few occasions, I feel like we've been circling that particular runway and we haven't had a chance to discuss what you hate about it. So it's nice that we finally got to the opportunity where you could start ranting about it.
It's like a D&D game, which like if I wanted to play D&D, I'd fucking play D&D. I want to play Borderlands. And Tiny Tina, like it was weird because I don't remember which game she was in. 1, 2. She's so funny. She's like this unhinged character that just like blows everything up. And she's hysterical. She's one of my favorite characters in Borderlands, except for Handsome Jack and Butt Stallion, obviously. True Borderlands fans will know. And so I was expecting it to be cool, and it was just like a D&D grind, and I hated it. The storyline was short, and it was stupid. It's like you're moving on pieces across a board, and I'm like, this is not Borderlands. And now they just announced Borderlands 4 on the heels of the Borderlands movie coming out, which we all knew was going to be trash. And I'm like, is this indicative of Borderlands 4 being trash? If so, I will set the world on fire. Just so everybody knows. With a Hyperion laser. It's a Borderlands reference.
Yeah, you have every right to be apprehensive about it, and especially since Randy Pitchford is very defensive about criticism of the movie.
I will not watch it. I refuse. I won't watch the second Joker. I refuse. I will not waste my time.
I went through a phase where I was watching bad movies just for the purpose of they can't be that bad. I want to see if I could find a redeeming quality. That phase didn't last long, and I have no desire to see the Borderlands movie. It just looks like a drag.
Yeah, they can be that bad, and a lot of them are.
They certainly can. As bad as the bosses that we've discussed today. Yes.
Yes.
And if you would like to tell us your least favorite bosses, or tell us why the bosses that we picked are actually really good, so we can laugh at you, you can reach us at firstgengamerspod@gmail.com. You can reach us on Twitter, firstgengamerspod. You can reach us on Instagram, TikTok. Were you anywhere else? I don't think so.
No,
that's more than enough.
It. Yeah,
that's plenty of vectors into our lives.
Agreed.
Do you want to mention your other podcast?
It's called Fuck That, but with the asterisks. It's a true crime podcast hosted by me.
And it is a very good podcast. And now that I'm getting a different job where I can listen to podcasts again, I can get caught up.
Woo.
All right. That's the episode. We'll be back in a couple of weeks. Lord knows what about.
Yes, we don't know.
We like to surprise each other. It's your pick, by the way. So.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
All right. Talk to you guys next time.
Bye.